Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. Everything comes in time to him who knows how to wait. Wrong does not cease to be wrong because the majority share in it. If everyone fought for their own convictions, there would be no war. In the name of God, stop a moment, seize your work, and look around you. I often think that men don't understand what is noble and what is ignorant, though they always talk about it. The two most powerful warriors are patience and time. Boredom is the desire for desires. If you look for perfection, you'll never be content. If you're not enjoying your work, you should either change your attitude or change your job. Anything is better than lies and deceit. A truly wise man is always joyful. The only thing we know is that we know nothing, and that is the highest flight of human wisdom. It's much better to do good in a way that no one knows anything about. Even in the valley of the shadow and death, 2 and 2 do not make 6. It is amazing how complete is the delusion that beauty is goodness. Rummaging in our souls, we often dig up something that ought to have lain there unnoticed. Spring is the time of plans and projects. We lost because we told ourselves we lost. If you want to be happy, be. All the variety, all the charm, all the beauty of life is made up of light and shadow. There is no greatness where there is no simplicity, goodness, and truth. There are no conditions to which a person cannot grow accustomed, especially if he sees that everyone around him lives in the same way. Man cannot possess anything as long as he fears death. Something magical has happened to me, like a dream when one feels frightened and creepy and suddenly wakes up to the knowledge that no such terrors exist. I have wakened up. If we admit that human life can be ruled by reason, then all possibility of life is destroyed. He soon felt that the fulfillment of his desires gave him only 1 grain of the mountain of happiness he had expected. If there was no suffering, man would not know his limits. He would not know himself. And you know, there's less charm in life when you think about death, but it's more peaceful. Because of the self-confidence with which he had spoken, no one could tell whether what he said was very clever or very stupid. Love, the reason I dislike that word is that it means too much for me, far more than you can understand. When you love someone, you love the person as they are, and not as you'd like them to be. But the law of loving others could not be discovered by reason, because it is unreasonable. It's hard to love a woman and do anything. Everything that I understand only because I love. He was afraid of defiling the love which filled his soul. Respect was invented to cover the empty place where love should be. Is it really possible to tell someone else what one feels? If you love me as you say you do, make it so that I am at peace. Rest, nature, books, music, love for one's neighbor. Such is my idea of happiness. Happiness does not depend on outward things, but on the way we see them. I wanted feeling to guide us in life, and not life to be the guide to feeling. All happy families resemble one another. Each unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. I felt a wish never to leave that room, a wish that dawn might never come, that my present frame of mind might never change. I longed for activity instead of an even flow of existence. Society in itself is no great harm, but unsatisfied social aspirations are a bad and ugly business. We must certainly accept, and we will. True life is lived when tiny changes occur. Free thinkers are those who are willing to use their minds without prejudice and without fearing to understand things that clash with their own customs, privileges, or beliefs. This state of mind is not common, but it is essential for right thinking. Our body is a machine for living. It is organized for that. It is its nature. Let life go in it unhindered, and let it defend itself. Have a goal in life, a goal for a certain time, for a year, for a month, for a week, for a day, or for an hour and for a minute, sacrificing lower goals to highest. The chief difference between words and deeds is that words are always intended for men for their approbation, but deeds can be done only for God. The changes in our life must come from the impossibility to live otherwise than according to the demands of our conscience, not from our mental resolution to try a new form of life. If you make it a habit not to blame others, you will feel the growth of the ability to love in your soul, and you will see the growth of goodness in your life. To love life is to love God. Harder and more blessed than all else is to love this life in one's sufferings, in undeserved sufferings. Seize the moments of happiness, love, and be loved. That is the only reality in the world. All else is folly. People try to do all sorts of clever and difficult things to improve life, instead of doing the simplest, easiest thing, refusing to participate in activities that make life bad. Joy can only be real if people look upon their life as a service and have a definite object in life outside themselves and their personal happiness. They've got no idea what happiness is. They don't know that without this love, there is no happiness or unhappiness for us. There is no life. An arrogant person considers himself perfect. This is the chief harm of arrogance. It interferes with a person's main task in life, becoming a better person. There is only one enduring happiness in life: to live for others. One of the first conditions of happiness is that the link between man and nature shall not be broken. The law condemns and punishes only actions within certain definite and narrow limits. It thereby justifies in a way all similar actions that lie outside those limits. Faith is the sense of life, that sense by virtue of which man does not destroy himself, but continues to live on. It is the force whereby we live. I sit on man's back, joking him and making him carry me, and yet assure myself and others that I am very sorry for him and wish to ease his lot by all possible means, except by getting off his back. I think if it is true, if there are as many minds as there are heads, then there are as many kinds of love as there are hearts. If a man aspires towards a righteous life, his first act of abstinence is from injury to animals. Only people who are capable of loving strongly can also suffer great sorrow, but this same necessity of loving serves to counteract their grief and heals them.